have a fun story to share about eating
Oh,
your retirement.
let's do it.
When Tony and I first started filling out the budget sheets just for funsies, because we thought we were really dialed in on our finances and our money,
Uh-huh.
and we were passing out these spending plans to people and hearing feedback that they're terrible and we hate doing this. And I'm like, let's do it for funsies for a few months just to see what they're feeling and what the emotion is and what they're really experiencing. And we learned that we were literally eating our retirement. Not that we
Oh,
weren't putting into our retirement, but how much money we were double spending on buying groceries and eating out and throwing groceries away because we didn't eat them in time was a stupid amount of money. So you got to dial in on a budget to stop eating your retirement.
yeah. It's a, it's something that you don't think of necessarily um, until you do. And that's why I mean, I had already kind of written this up, and I think I've talked about it a couple of times where I just was like, I just have to see what this looks like. Um, and it's really kind of crazy. And so then I actually came up with, did it in a better like visual, because the way I had it on my notebook was like all scribbles and just really craziness. So it was kind of hard to read. So just it's like, you know what, I'm just gonna put it out there, and I don't know if you can see this. Is it really blurry?
No, it's clear.
Cool. So this I just looked at how many times a month people eat out, and I went like conservative on this because I know several families who eat out a lot, like most of the time. And so I just kind of went with, I did two different options. So the cheaper option and the not so cheap option for the people who just spend like they just don't even care. Um, and so on the cheaper options one, I went with a breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then I broke it down, and I picked a donut shop, and I actually did this with, I went online and looked at their prices, and I looked to see how much I figured it up with tax and everything. I even figured it up with delivery charges, because I was like, there's a lot of
Wow.
people who use Grubhub and Uber Eats and stuff like that. So I went on the delivery thing to see how much it would cost if I got it delivered, and stuff like that. So on the one hand, if you've got one person who goes and gets breakfast every day, gets an iced coffee and a breakfast sandwich, whatever's cheapest, um, that's about 637 a person with tax.
Wow.
So if you have a mom and two kids and they get the same thing, and they only go once a week, so that doesn't sound bad, right? Like once a week to go for breakfast isn't horrible if you think about, like, they're just running through on the way to school or something. They're running late out the door, didn't have time, so mom stops and gets the kids breakfast on the way. So this is one mother and two kids 4 times a month. That alone is $75 a month. That's how it adds up. And so then,
Wow.
if you I put your daughter's favorite restaurant, because I don't want to say the names of the restaurants, because it's not the restaurant's fault. And I just, if I put it out there, I don't want like people thinking I'm like bashing these places. So, but there's this restaurant who has a nice little classic chicken meal that comes with fries and a drink. That meal, the medium size, is $7.89. So with tax, it's $8.56. And a lot of people that work in offices or any kind of job, really, they're busy and they don't want to leave to go get it. So a lot of times that one's delivered. So that costs about $6 if you have it delivered, and then pay for the tip to go on top of that. So for one person, it would be $14.50 basically for one
Wow.
meal for one day out of the week. So if you do that, I was just thinking of my husband and I, who are home working all the time. If we did lunch for us 3 times a week, that'd be $86 a week for two per.
Wow.
Yeah. So if we did that every week, that'd be $350 just for lunch. Just for lunch. And so, when I had like, and I've told you before, like I had this guy who said, "Oh yeah, I only spend about $200 a month on food." Mm-mm. Not if you eat out at all, because if you eat out like most people do, it adds up so quick that you can't even comprehend it. So
Right.
anyway, so this family, then they do dinner. They do dinner out 3 times a week for a family of four. And the barbecue place I checked out is the prices are average with just about any other kind of burger joint or any place where you can get a sit down like dinner type meal. And so this one, if you got the sandwich combo, it's $11, and I think that's I don't know what comes with it, but it's a sandwich combo. It's $11. That must be fries and a drink or something, or at least fries. Because I know when we go to places, usually the meal is if you get a burger, then you get the fries, but you still pay like $3 or $4 for the drink. Um, so in this one, it's $14, so just about the same as lunch, really. And then and it's not even fast food. So there's a comparison that you can look at too. One of these is fast food and the other one is not. So I added a tip onto the sandwich for the barbecue place too, because you got to pay a tip. So if you have a family of four who eats dinner out 3 times a week, which doesn't sound like a lot, you got 7 days in a week, and if you only eat out 3 times, you still have 4 other days you have to take care of dinner, right? So doing that 3 times every week, 12 times a month, is $700 for that family. And that's just dinner. Like, I haven't added these up yet. so, um, so then one person, 3 meals a day for like 1 time a week. So if they went out breakfast, lunch, and dinner at all these places 1 time in a week, that's $35 for one person. If you multiply that by four, um, that's 140. So once a week for 4 weeks is $140. If you do that 5 times a week for 4 weeks, it's $704 for one person. So still eating at home twice a week, like um, $700. It just blows my mind every time. And
Right.
then so if you take the family of four and you eat out all these times, that's $1,100 a month that you're spending on food. And so if you think
Mortgage.
about it, yeah, how many meals is that? That's um 12. I had that added up, but I don't remember. Oh yeah. So the if the family ate out all these times, that's 21 meals out of their month, and they're spending over $1,100 on that. There's still
Wow.
315 other meals that they need to pay for.
Wow.
So if you still buy groceries, and like you said, if I mean, a lot of people they'll go buy a whole bunch of groceries and then they'll wind up eating out because they just either don't feel like cooking or they don't have time or they didn't plan. And then the food goes bad, or they just, I don't know. I mean, I have kids, so food doesn't go bad in our house really. Um, they just eat everything in sight. So, and then they still want to eat out. But yeah, so and then I just compared that with the non-cheap options. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but basically, the person who just ate out by themselves and didn't do cheap options, you know, they're spending somewhere around almost $1,000 a week for the same meals, the same amount of meals as the other person that only spent. So if you're gonna eat out, I guess go with the cheaper option, right? Because it's better to spend 700 than 994. But that's just a lot. I mean, think about it. If you spend $1,000 a month on just eating out, you know, a few times, 21 meals a month. That's just insane.
Wow.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's why like it just hit me so hard when I added this up. I mean, we rarely eat out in our house, so we don't put that much in the budget for it. And I mean, we eat out so rarely that I have a $50 gift certificate for a really nice steakhouse, and it's been in my drawer for like 6 months because we just don't even I keep forgetting that I have it. you know it's a bit of a drive too, so that's something I have to plan, but I'm gonna use it here one of these days when I'm not so busy. But yeah, I mean, if the family of four ate out like that and didn't didn't pay
Wow.
attention to how much they're spending. That's $1,600 in a month on 21 meals.
Wow.
It's just mind blowing. So that's why I just wanted to put this out there, because I think that it's so easy to just blow over the fact that, oh yeah, we eat out sometimes, but not that often. And it's like, look at what not that often still costs you, you know? So,
Wow.
yeah. So anyway, I'm just,
Did you put that on your Facebook page? Because that's insane.
I am going to put it on my Facebook page. I just
Okay, good.
was
Because
wanting
that's nuts.
I was waiting until I revealed it here first, because it's a big part of our budgeting class,
Ooh,
and showing
good
people
stuff.
that we all have things. And I mean, if food is your thing, that's good. But honestly, I don't want to feel like I ate my retirement. And I think that happens a lot. People just have
Yeah.
so well, and they haven't realized that it's doing so much damage to their budget and stuff.